Hi, Shirley here, and today I would like to do a short video for us for the spring and to open a little bit of, to do a card reading, just some nice messages for us. This is a pack of Merlin cards. They're written in Hebrew, but I can translate them, of course. So we'll open with some nice message for today. Oh, that was easy. Create a discourse or create a space where you can talk. And we can see the two people next to the bonfire chatting. And that's the message for us, to get with people and to talk, which is funny because that's what I'm doing right now. And I'd like to talk about orange essential oil. It's actually a message that I got from my guides to work with it, and I'd like to share with you my experience with it. So it's not a video like you would find on YouTube describing all the qualities of orange essential oil. I might touch on that, but more of my personal experience, as I like to do with crystals and also with oils. So orange is good for deepening the breath. It's great for the sex chakra. This is the second chakra, and it's says to be good to ward off nightmares. It brings joy. Now, what I noticed at first when I used this, I did not feel joy at all. I felt actually sadness. There's something heavy in my womb, and I guess that cleared it up. It sort of clears the sex chakra, clears the womb, or clears the point of hara, which is a couple of fingers below the navel. So it's good for both men and women. It's considered an aphrodisiac, and it kind of is. It deepens the breath. It's not what we would think of as an aphrodisiac, because it's not like ylang ylang or patchouli or jasmine or rose, but it has its effect because it cleanses what's inside the sex chakra, and it brings creativity, opens expression as well, because the energy goes from the creativity chakra into our throat, hopefully, and then to be expressed with words or drawings or any creative endeavor that you may have. What I noticed, the message that I got working with orange, I got a couple of messages, was I'm at home in my body, and it is a pleasure for me to be in the body. So home is the word that this body, this physical body, is a home to us, and we create a warm home. And the next word to kind of pay attention to is a pleasure, because it opens up the pleasure centers and the feel that it's a pleasure to be in the body. So this is an oil I definitely recommend for people who have a hard time with their bodies. Grapefruit essential oil is also great for loving the body, but also orange for being in the body and to feel that it is a pleasure to be in our body. And that pleasure is something that we deserve. That's something that's positive. Pleasure is not only self-pleasure or sexual pleasure. Pleasure is pleasure with life, creativity, joy. In astrology, what I would see as related to the sex chakra, I don't know if that's what astrologers are looking at, but that's the way I see it, is actually the fifth house, which is house of children, which is house of romance, which is house also of gambling, but it's also a house of creativity. So that could possibly help with fifth house issues, and you feel free to try this. Let me know if that works for you. It it is a very accessible oil. It's really cheap. Even when you buy it from a qualified company, it's really cheap. It's not too much to, of an expense to get. You can sniff it and just light it in a diffuser and sniff it. If you are a certified aromatherapist, then you can also work with it, like dilute it in oil and also work with it. If you're only working with yourself and not with clients, then you can actually try to even put a drop of the oil, as we do when we study aromatherapy. We usually work with the clean oils. It's great to put a drop on your sex chakra. That's a couple of fingers below the navel. On your heart, on your throat. Anything you put on the sex chakra, you also put on the throat, because these chakras are related. Here behind the neck and behind the ears. Another way to work with it, and that is a tip I got from an aromatherapist that I went to actually treat myself, is to put a couple of drops or drop on the hands, rub them together, and that's just bring your hands over your aura to sort of cleanse your aura. This is not a cleanser such as clary sage or hyssop or juniper, but it is a cleanser in the sense that it aligns you with the frequency of joy. And you sort of see things from the perspective of joy. You see things from the perspective of contentment, of what I have. And one of the best ways, for example, to treat addictions is enhance the sex chakra, is to ground yourself in pleasure, not in the sense of, escaping into pleasure or escape into unwanted relationships, but to heal and balance. The sex chakra is the chakra of connections, connection with the world, connection with creativity, of self-pleasure in a way that is healthy for us. So healing the sex chakra is a very good way to deal with addictions. Of course, it goes along with healing the heart, and healing all the all the chakras and grounding. It has no limit to where we go, but feeling joy that comes from ourselves, just sniffing orange and feeling joy, or if you feel sadness first and heal the sadness, keep working with the orange until you feel joy. It really helps to feel that I have enough. I am at home in my body. Think about it. I am at home in my body. It's a pleasure to be in my body. I'm creative. I have enough. This is a great abundance oil, that you wouldn't maybe think of it as abundance, but it's a great oil for abundance. And it, it helps you feel satisfied and joyful within your body, within yourself, which is like 90% of the triggers that people who deal with addictions have, that they don't feel at home in their bodies, that they don't feel at home with themselves, that they don't feel the sense of connection. So it is not, you don't just sniff orange and you're done with your addiction, but it can support people who are dealing with addiction alongside other oils, of course. So I think that's what I have to say about orange. Um, Great for the skin. It's not phototoxic. The sweet orange is not phototoxic, which is amazing because you can use it easier on the skin. Diluted, of course, if you're not a certified aromatherapist, then have an aromatherapist prepare you a diluted version of it to make sure you're safe. You can use it while you're pregnant. It's great for labor because it deepens the breath and brings you joy, right? So for women who are looking to, or men with wombs who are looking to have an orgasmic birth, diffuse it in the room when you're giving birth, even in the hospital. Bring it to hospital, sniff it. When you're giving birth, it's something that can really contribute to an orgasmic birth because it deepens the breath. It makes you take a deeper breath and it brings joy. So it sort of heals your hormones to get prepared for the birth, and you can use it anytime. It's usually recommended for people who are pregnant not to use it in the first trimester of the pregnancy. It's usually recommended for people who are dealing with physical disorders of the nervous system not to treat themselves with essential oils, or people who are under chemotherapy, because that can interfere with the effect of chemotherapy. It can detoxify the body, and of course chemo is toxins, and of course if you're treated with steroids. So you should be aware of that, not just in orange, in any essential oil. But other than that, you can just buy yourself an orange oil and sniff it, or you diffuse it in a diffuser and meditate with it. The way we work with meditation. Ooh, I have another card falling. Which card is it? Keep with what's essential to you. Make sure you focus on what's essential to you. It just dropped from the package. So when that happens, and accept your mistakes with ease. Accept your mistakes. It's interesting because I got the message today that there is a space for my mistakes or my miscalculations. So that's another card. Where were we? How do we work with essential oil? So we basically take 5 deep breaths, or 3 deep breaths, or 1 deep breath, as much as you can. Inhale it in, and then exhale it out. Then you just sit there and feel what comes up in you. It could be a thought, it could be an emotion, it could be the sense of your body. And just stay with it for as long as you can. It can be 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, for as long as you can. And when you finish, take another deep breath, or as much breaths as you took before when you started the meditation. Meditation could be a triggering word. It's just sitting with yourself and feeling and being. If the word meditation triggers you, you don't have to even see it as a meditation, because a lot of people can't concentrate, and whatever comes up in your mind is okay. You just stay there with it, and that's the point of what you do. The oil helps you sort of. It's like a ritual. You open with the breaths and you close with the same amount of breaths, and then you close that segment. You can ask for messages from your guides if you're getting connected with your guides. Messages from your guides would always have, and I think I spoke about it in the past, they would always have an empowering way about them. Their energy would feel good. They would feel like an opening in your heart, and they would bring you joy, which is why it's such a great oil to get connected with your guides, because the energy of joy is like one of the highest frequencies you have. So this is how you discern. If you get a message that's frightening, if you see stuff that frightens you, that's not your guides. That's not it. That could be other entities that you don't want to work with, and then you just refuse the message and go back to your body and put an intent to connect with light beings or love beings. So that's what I have to say about orange. Another crystal I've been working with, it's in my plant, it's actually emerald. And it's not necessarily a crystal you would work with orange. I mean, when you think about orange, you usually think about carnelian, for example, which is great for fertility and creativity. But this emerald actually works on the heart and the base chakra. I find it to be a crystal of wealth for a reason. I don't know why. That's just my experience with it. Wealth sort of makes sure that when you open your heart, you're grounded. So another great crystal for that would be rhodonite, which is pink and black, and this is green and black. So making sure your heart opens but remains grounded. And I think it's really beautiful. Like, you can look at it. As you can see, it's not a tumbled stone. And it's also very accessible. It's not too expensive to buy, and it's very beautiful, I'd say powerful, although I don't feel overflown with it. And I find it to be a great wealth crystal. Um, when your heart is open and you're grounded, then you can do what you can follow your heart and feel more safe to do so. So that would be for people who may feel like when their heart is open, they get hurt too much or it's too open. Um, it can also heal, of course, what's in the heart. And it can help you sort of open your heart but keep your feet on the ground. That's what I get from emerald, from this crystal. So let me know if you've used these crystals in the past, if you used orange essential oil. What is your experience? I'm really excited to learn about things. Have you used it to remedy fifth house issues, like having afflicted fifth house ruler or fifth house planets that are afflicted? That would be interesting for me to learn, like for the astrologer in me is interested to learn about that. And I'll see you in my next video.